it becomes more and more important for us in this process of evolving, in this process of becoming, that we are constantly aware of our true nature, our nature of becoming, and that we are able to embrace this fearlessly. For in this transformation that is taking place, there is not a lot of visible things. There's not a lot of detectable things that we see. It's taking place more in the feeling realm, and the intellect doesn't always agree or detect or realize anything is really taking place. It's like you look in the mirror and you don't see anything. Doesn't look like there's any changes taking place. You say, well, where is it? I don't see anything happening. So one needs to create a place of knowing, of trusting that we have entered a realm of kind of invisibility in a way. An invisibility to the outside in a way, and an invisibility to ourselves. We can't really detect these subtle transformations that are taking place. And there's a good reason for that, is because the intellect gets in the way. It tries to direct or change or even become fearful of the things that are taking place because of the conditions of the mind, of beliefs or concepts. And so it is best to remain aloof or blind to what is taking place. Because this is no interference process, a non-interference process. Do not mess with it. Do not interfere with the process. Because the intellect does not know what is happening. The mind does not know what is happening. The body does not even know what is happening. For the body relies upon the outside. The body gets its information feedback from the things around it, other people. And it sees other people's processes and conditions and beliefs and concepts. And it says, well, I don't see this with other people, so it can't be with me either. And so it makes it difficult for this physical to proceed with this transformation, because this feedback loop gets very confusing. If we lived in a group of individuals that were on the same track, that were all transforming at the same rate, and everybody was like mirrors to each other, and you see this transformation taking place all around you, it'd be quite easy. But we don't have that privilege. That is the the nature, the problem of being the forerunner of the new human and the new consciousness. There aren't very many examples. There aren't many way showers out there that are saying, here, this is what it is, this is how it looks, this is how it works. There's many false prophets out there that say, this is what you're supposed to do, this is how it is. There's many liars out there that tries to mislead, trying to keep control of the old, trying to reinstitute old systems of beliefs and concepts. There's lots of that. Hanging and clinging to the past, afraid to step out of the old into the new, afraid of the change. So us brave hearts are often finding ourselves quite alone in this transformation. And you have close friends, and you try to maybe explain to them something, and they look at you and say, wow, what planet are you from? Where'd you get off at? What's going on here? This is just too strange. What cult are you joined? Or what's happened to you? It's far out. So we wind up keeping to ourselves and keeping quiet and feeling quite alone very often. And so you become your own best guru, actually, your own best teacher, because you have learned to listen to yourself, to your true self, to that which knows within your being this evolutionary process, this transformational process. And that is the cosmic direction that is guiding you. And the feeling, knowing that is within yourself is that impetus that keeps moving you forward. And that is your direction. And it is not misleading. The outside is what is misleading, because it always pulls you hither and thither, trying to get you to go with the group, go with the crowd, go with something that's assured. But that which is supposedly assured is of the past, is misleading, is controlling, manipulating, and has an agenda that is not the best for you. So you see, we find ourselves very often quite alone in this process. You may feel that you're the only one. And that is an uncomfortable feeling, to feel like you're the only one. But at the time it is of a necessity, because to be of many, you can realize we're of the many where they're going. It is not a good place. There is war, there is chaos, there is poverty, there is starvation, there is destruction. And that is of the many. That is where they are. And when you listen to your being, when you follow feeling, knowing, you realize that it is not where you want to be. That is not who you are. And so the choice becomes, you be still and quiet within yourself. And you do find yourself very often alone. But being at one with the true self, you are not alone. You are one with the cosmos. And when you are one with the cosmos, You are in an elite group of oneness, a oneness of allness. It is just that you don't see or detect that allness because it is so quiet. It is not broadcasting like charlatans. It is not broadcasting like false prophets. It is not broadcasting like gurus that trying to create followers. It is not a religion. It is not a cult. It is nothing like that. It is simply a thing of compassion, of love, of peace, of serenity, of allowing. It is not trying to establish anything. But when one tunes in to that, when you tune into that, you begin to feel a connection. And it is not a visible thing, but it is a feeling thing. Your senses do not detect the things around you. They do not detect that. But yet, being alone in that, you realize the one self is the many selves. But these many selves are still the one self. It's a phenomena that is very difficult to understand. To be one is to be many, is such a thing. To be all and to be one is how does one to explain such a thing? You are not alone, but you are one. Seems to be one and to be all. But it is better to be all by one's self than to be caught in the realm of chaotic, conditional, consensus reality beings that are so caught up into chaos and jealousy and anger and fear and separation that their minds are schizophrenic and angry and all in turmoil, that it is a contagion. So one is safe in this allness oneness. So one is not separate, one is not cut off, but one is isolated in the all oneness, the allness. And so it is not an elite thing, but it is a knowing thing that one has seen through oneness, the all, the absolute, is present in that one. And is not separate, is not lost, is not elite, but has risen to a state of knowing that is connected to something that is all embracing of all of it, that is able to make the connection to this higher dimensional life experience that is happening as the new human and the new consciousness. And it is not an isolated event at all, but it is totally open to any being that has within themselves the capacity to make that connection. It takes that surrender of the chaotic mind, to letting go of one's beliefs and concepts and conditions about what's supposed to be, because it doesn't fit the criteria of the conditions, beliefs, and concepts. So there you have it. You may feel isolated and alone, and you are in that sense because you can no longer fit in the conditional world of make-believe. And it really is a world to make-believe. People's beliefs and concepts and conditions are made up. They really are made up. They have somehow fallen into the world of make-believe that that's the way the world works, that's what it is, and the war is real, and poverty is real, and starvation is real. It is real because it has become established that way, and it keeps being fed that way. It keeps being repeated that way, and it continues to operate that way. And it will continue to operate that way forever and ever and ever, as long as human beings continue to feed it that way. And when the human beings stop doing that, those things will cease to exist. They can only exist when human beings feed them. Really. It is the human condition that feeds the human conditions. Simple. I know it's not that simple, but it is simple. Everything has to be fed, or it will starve off and die. Simple. As long as the human conditions are being fed by fear, by greed, by jealousy, by separation, they continue. And that works on the whole and it works on the small. So what you can do within yourself, you stop feeding those things yourself. You stop feeding jealousy, you stop feeding separation, you stop feeding anger, you stop feeding fear, you stop feeding those things, and they begin to dissipate. Really, they do. They begin to dissipate. If you don't feed them, they go hungry and they starve to death. You put your energy into the things that are important to you. You put your energy into the things that are real to you, the things that are your life, those things that you really know are valuable to you. It's your life. It is really your life. And it's up to you to create the life that is worthy of you. That's it. The life that is worthy of you. How about it? Are you going to do that for yourself? You have the power to do that. You really have the power to do that.